Welcome to Crosstalk Solutions. My name's Chris, and laid out in front of me here, I have all of the components that go into my travel tech bag for 2021. Now that COVID is on the downslide, a lot of you, like myself, have been starting to travel again. I went on my first business trip in over a year out to Appleton, Wisconsin to do a Crosstalk and Clearly IP PBX training. Just got back last week. So the training went really well, and on that trip, I brought along with me my 2021 travel tech bag. So let's take a look at the various items that I have in here. Everything that you see in this video, there's a link to down below, so go ahead and click on that link if you're interested in any of the products that I'm going to show. Also, make sure you like this video and subscribe to Crosstalk Solutions for more videos just like this one. So instead of saving the best for last, I'm going to start with the best, in my opinion, which is this bag right here. This is the Peak Design Tech Pouch. This is a really well-designed tech bag, and I will show you exactly why. So first and foremost, this comes in two colors. This is the sage version, but there's also a black version of the same bag. Just on the exterior, the material that this is made of is water resistant, so that you can splash or spill a coffee on this thing and it's not going to affect the tech components that you have inside the bag. But one of the really ingenious things about this bag are these little straps that they have on the bottom. So you can see right here, there's these two straps. Those are for your hand. So that you can put your hand into these straps like so and hold the bag without it falling out of your hand. So you can basically one-hand this thing, open the bag, close it back up, and you don't have to worry about it flopping all over the place or just dumping all the components out on the floor. I mean, if you're in an airport and you just need to get into your tech bag real quick, boom, just put your hand through the little straps and you're into the bag. I also love the zippers on this thing. The zippers are really nice. This one in the back here is almost invisible, and we'll get to what that compartment is for in a second. But let's take a look inside the bag. So it has this sort of accordion design that opens up. These are all sort of flexible fabric pieces that hold all of your stuff in place. Starting in the very center, if you open up this zippered compartment, you can see that I've got some USB sticks, a micro SD card. All of my important smaller USB devices fit perfectly in this little pouch. And then you've got all these various compartments for other things. Everything fits in here really nicely, including one of my favorite things, which is this Anker 10,000 milliwatt amp hour power bank. The reason that I love this so much is that it absolutely fits perfectly in this tech bag right here on the side compartment. And then one of the genius things about this tech bag, I don't know if this is a little hard to see, but there's a little pass-through right here. So you have a cable like this one. So what you can do is plug this into your power bank, which again fits nicely right in this little pocket here, this sort of elastic pocket. And then you can run these cables through that little hole to the side pocket on the other side. So for instance, here's my lightning cable coming through the side pocket just like so. Now what this means, and I actually used this more than I thought I was going to on this recent trip, you can now take your cell phone, plug it in, and then slide it into the side pocket here and close it up. So now your cell phone has real easy access inside the bag if you need to get to the cell phone without having to open up the whole bag, because the cable passes through and can charge up whatever device you have in there. Really smart design. All right, so that's about it for this tech bag itself. Let's look at some of this other stuff. So I've talked about these cables before. I have these cables in multiple different lengths. Again, so this is the sort of USB type A, and then the three different ends over here. I have 6-foot versions of these, and I have these smaller 1-foot versions. But also you might want to get something like these. So there's a pack of cables. These are all USB type A to USB-C, but they come in different small lengths. And I think this package that I have linked below actually has a 1-foot cable and a 1/2-foot cable. And I really like the nylon cables for something like this application because they're going to be durable enough to be knocked around in your tech bag without, fraying or coming apart or exposing any of the wires. So the tough nylon cables are definitely a must for a tech bag like this. All right, cables aside, let's take a look inside this little smaller pouch. Now this is the A.N. Losi hard carrying case for a travel router. Okay, so if we open this up, what we can see inside here is my gl.inet GLAR705-EXT, and I have the slate colored version. Now, I have already done a full video on this device. I absolutely love this little travel router. So I will put a link on the screen to the old video that I did about this device. This carrying case is made for the TP-Link AC750 travel router, which I also purchased way back when I got this gl.inet. And the TP-Link router is absolutely horrendous. I don't recommend it in any way whatsoever. I was gonna do a video on it, but then I'm like, I have nothing nice to say about this device, so I'm just gonna scrap the video. I do not recommend the TP-Link version travel router. What I do recommend, however, is for this little travel router case, something like these, right? So these are expandable Ethernet cables, right? So basically it's like this hard plastic casing around this cable, so it can, again, be knocked around inside this case without worrying about fraying the cable or anything. And then it actually extends out to, looks like about 4 feet, and then you can retract it right back in. So I have a link to these as well. There's a 2-pack for less than 10 bucks. So let's talk about our power banks. And again, I have 2 separate power banks. I love Anker equipment. So these are both Anker power banks. The smaller one is 10,000 milliamp hours, and it has a micro USB input for charging and then a single USB type A output. And it has a little button on the side where you can actually see how much battery power is left in this thing when you hit the button. So this is the Anker PowerCore 10,000. It is $21.99. This larger Anker power bank is the Anker PowerCore Essential 20,000. So it's a 20,000 milliamp hour power bank. This thing lasts for days and days and days. So again, you press the button on here, it shows you how much battery power is left in here. And then as far as ports, we have 2 different inputs. We have a USB Type-C input as well as a micro USB input, and then we have 2 USB Type-A outputs. Both of these devices feature Anker's Power IQ technology for making sure that you can charge up even the most power-hungry devices that are out there. I had no problem charging up like my my iPad on these things. And the PowerCore Essential, the 20,000 milliamp hour version, is $42.97. So there's our 2 battery banks, but of course you also need to charge up your devices, whether it's your battery banks or the actual devices themselves. And for those, again, Anker is my go-to for this kind of stuff. And I have 2 different little chargers here, depending on the size and power requirements that you need. So we'll start with this little one. This is the Anker Nano Charger with Power IQ. It has USB Type-C output. This is what I use to charge up my iPad typically when I have it plugged into the wall. The Anker Nano Charger does feature the Power IQ 3. It has 20 watts of power. The price on this is $16.99, and it comes in white, black, or lavender. I think it's actually lavender gray is the 3 different color options that you get with this device. But if you need some more power, if you need more power than that, we also have the Anker PowerPort Atom 3. Now this is 60 watts of total power delivery. It's got Power IQ 3.0, and on the front we have a USB Type A as well as a USB-C. The white version of this device that I have is $37.99 as of the recording of this video. They also have a black version, but it's $2 more. It's $39.99 for the black version. And basically this is going to be able to charge up, I mean, any device that you could possibly throw at it. I absolutely love this thing. I use it all the time. Finally, we have a couple of different streaming sticks here. I have the Amazon Fire TV stick as well as the Roku Streaming Stick Plus. Now, I like bringing a streaming stick to a hotel room because it already has all of your stuff logged in, right? So if you got Netflix and Hulu and HBO Max and all these different little applications, well, just bring your streaming stick, plug it into an HDMI port on the hotel television, and both of these sticks have no problem getting past hotel Wi-Fi captive portals. So typically when you plug the stick in and connect it to Wi-Fi, it's going to pop up a little page. Hotels will have you put in your room number and your last name and, agree to their terms or whatever. Both of these can do that no problem. And then you're off and running with all of your normal applications that you have for streaming. Now, if we look at these 2 devices side by side, the Amazon Fire TV stick is a little bit bigger than the Roku streaming stick, but they both work perfectly fine. I personally prefer the Roku, just because most of the devices in my house are Roku, so I'm used to the interface. It's nice and responsive. Fire TV just came out with a new updated interface, which is fine. I mean, there's no problem with that device. My personal preference is the Roku. Now, both of these devices are powered by USB. So you plug the USB into the side, and then typically what I do is plug the HDMI into HDMI, and then most TVs have USB for powering a device like this. So then you plug this into the USB port. Usually that cable length is plenty long enough, but you could always plug the streaming sticks into a regular power adapter as well. One thing though that you might want to consider purchasing if you're going to put a streaming stick in your bag is a small flexible HDMI jumper cable, right? Because some televisions, you cannot put a device this big into the HDMI port, right? It's made for like coming out into a cable, and then that cable is bendy, right? This is not bendy, okay? So what you can do is basically put this little jumper on the end of it, kind of extends the HDMI, and then this can bend any way that it needs to go to make sure that you can actually get it plugged into the television. I have had that happen where I brought a streaming stick to a hotel room and I didn't have the jumper cable, and the stick would not physically fit into the HDMI port because of the design of the back of the television. So super cheap for these little HDMI jumpers. They come in a pack of 2. As far as the streaming devices themselves, the Amazon Fire TV stick is $47.49 and the Roku streaming stick is $49. So they're almost exactly the same price. Okay, so that's going to do it for the Crosstalk Solutions Travel Tech Bag 2021. Let me know your feedback down below. Are you a user of any of these products? Do you have any sort of positive or negative feedback? Is there anything that I should have in my tech bag that I don't have in my tech bag? What do you have in your own tech bag, in other words? All right, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Crosstalk Solutions for more tech videos just like this. All right, we will see you guys in the next one.